Katie Holmes has paid an emotional tribute to her former co-star James Van Der Beek, honoring the man she once shared the screen with during one of television's most iconic eras. James Van Der Beek passed away on February 11, 2026 at the age of 48 after battling stage III colon cancer. His death followed a long and courageous fight that he eventually chose to make public, using his platform to raise awareness about early screening and symptoms. News of his passing was confirmed by his wife, Kimberly Van Der Beek, who described his final days as peaceful and defined by courage, faith, and grace. Before turning to the memorial service and the tributes that continue to unfold, it is important to remember who James Van Der Beek was beyond the headlines and beyond the illness that marked his final chapter. Born on March 8, 1977 in Cheshire, Connecticut, James developed an interest in performance at a young age. He pursued acting seriously as a teenager and eventually made the bold decision to leave college to chase his dream in New York and Los Angeles. That risk paid off when he was cast as Dawson Leary on the hit teen drama Dawson's Creek. Premiering in 1998, the show quickly became a cultural phenomenon. As Dawson, James portrayed a sensitive, introspective, aspiring filmmaker navigating friendship, heartbreak, and the uncertainty of growing up. The character's emotional honesty resonated with audiences around the world. The series ran until 2003 and cemented his place in pop culture history. For many fans, Dawson Leary became synonymous with James himself. After Dawson's Creek ended, James faced the challenge common to many young stars, breaking free from a defining role. He appeared in films such as Varsity Blues, which showcased a different side of his screen presence, and he took on a variety of television projects over the years. From guest roles to reality competition appearances, he consistently demonstrated a willingness to evolve creatively rather than remain confined to nostalgia. Off-screen, James was known for his devotion to family. He married Kimberly in 2010, and together they built a life centered on faith and their 6 children, daughters Olivia, Annabelle, Emilia, and Gwendolyn, and sons Joshua and Jeremiah. In interviews and social media posts, he often described fatherhood as his most meaningful role. He spoke openly about how becoming a parent reshaped his priorities and redefined success in his life. In August 2023, James was diagnosed with stage III colon cancer. For more than a year, he kept the diagnosis private while undergoing treatment and continuing to support his family. In November 2024, he chose to share his condition publicly. That decision transformed his personal battle into a broader conversation. He urged people not to ignore symptoms and emphasized the importance of early detection, particularly as colon cancer cases rise among younger adults. His openness added depth to his public image. He was no longer just remembered as a teen drama icon, he became an advocate who used vulnerability as a form of strength. Throughout treatment, he spoke about faith, resilience, and gratitude. Even in the face of uncertainty, he remained committed to helping others. As tributes poured in after his passing, one of the most heartfelt messages came from Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes, who played Joey Potter on Dawson's Creek, broke her silence in the early hours of February 12. Her tribute was deeply personal, reflecting not only professional admiration but a shared history that shaped both of their careers and early adulthood. Katie and James spent 6 formative years working side by side on Dawson's Creek. Their on-screen relationship as Dawson and Joey became the emotional core of the series. Viewers watched their characters grow from childhood friends into young adults navigating love, jealousy, and ambition. The chemistry between them was central to the show's success. Off-screen, the cast formed close bonds during long filming schedules in Wilmington, North Carolina. For many of them, including Katie and James, the series was not just a career breakthrough, it was the beginning of life in the public eye. They experienced overnight fame together, navigating press tour, interviews, and fan expectations as young adults. In her message, Katie expressed gratitude for having shared that journey with him. She remembered James as brave, compassionate, and deeply committed to living with integrity. Instead of focusing solely on his illness, she highlighted his character, his strength, selflessness, and the sincerity he brought to both his work and personal life. She also made it clear that her thoughts were with Kimberly and their 6 children. Katie acknowledged the immense loss the family is facing and emphasized her support during this time of grief. Her tribute was measured and sincere, avoiding dramatic language while still conveying deep emotion. For fans who grew up watching Dawson and Joey, Katie's words carried particular weight. Their fictional romance symbolized youthful hope and emotional vulnerability. Seeing Katie honor James in real life blurred the line between television memory and reality. It reminded audiences that behind the scripted love story were two young actors learning and growing together. The cast of Dawson's Creek also included Michelle Williams, Joshua Jackson, Mary Bate Pale, Kerr Smith, Mary Margaret Holmes, and Nina Rapetta. Over the years, they reunited occasionally and reflected on how the series shaped their careers and friendships. James' passing has now given those memories a new layer of poignancy. Katie's tribute did not dwell on sorrow alone. Instead, she focused on the legacy he leaves behind, the integrity with which he faced his illness and the positive impact he had on those around him. That tone mirrors the message Kimberly shared when announcing his death, emphasizing courage and grace rather than despair. As conversations about a memorial service began circulating, fans wondered whether members of the Dawson's Creek family might gather publicly to honor him. While no formal details have been released, the emotional tributes from former co-stars have already created a collective remembrance. In many ways, the memorial for James Van Der Beek has begun organically. Social media posts, interviews, and shared memories have formed a digital space where colleagues and fans can reflect on his life. Katie Holmes' tribute stands at the center of that unfolding remembrance. For Katie, Dawson's Creek was her breakout role just as it was for James. They entered the industry as young actors and experienced sudden fame together. Navigating that level of visibility can create a unique bond. They learned how to handle intense media attention, public scrutiny, and the pressures of success at the same time. In interviews throughout her career, Katie occasionally reflected on how meaningful those early years were. Looking back now, those experiences carry even deeper emotional significance. Losing someone who shared that foundational chapter is not only the loss of a colleague, but the loss of a living connection to the beginning of her journey. James' passing has also reignited appreciation for the show itself. Reruns of Dawson's Creek have seen renewed interest as fans revisit episodes in tribute. Scenes between Dawson and Joey feel different now, layered with the knowledge that the actor behind the character is gone. What once felt like teenage drama now carries the weight of nostalgia and remembrance. Beyond the show, James is being remembered for the way he lived his final years. Even as he faced a life-threatening diagnosis, he chose openness over silence. He transformed his illness into an opportunity to educate others. That bravery is a recurring theme in the tributes from those who knew him. Katie's message reinforced that theme. She honored not only the actor she worked with, but the man he became, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a person guided by faith and integrity. As the days pass, the industry continues to reflect on his legacy. He will be remembered as Dawson Leary, as a film actor, as a television personality, and as an advocate. But perhaps most importantly, he will be remembered by those who knew him personally for his kindness and authenticity. Katie Holmes' emotional tribute stands as one of the most meaningful responses from the Dawson's Creek family. It reminds audiences that behind every iconic show are real relationships and shared histories that extend far beyond the screen. For now, there has been no official announcement regarding a public memorial service for James Van Der Beek. The family has requested privacy as they grieve, and specific details about any formal gathering have not yet been shared. As soon as memorial plans are confirmed, updates will follow. Stay with us for the latest information as it becomes available.